Today I'm going to be giving you guys my main card predictions and breakdown for UFC Paris this weekend. I'm really excited for it. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We're going to be starting with the main event, Moicano versus Saint Denis, and ending with Ziam versus Frevola, the main card opener. Dude, a lot of people are shitting in this card, and honestly, I really don't understand why. There's a lot of fun matchups on here, and the Paris crowd is honestly a really fun one. MMA fans, we just love to fucking complain, I guess. So, dude, let's just get into this. All right, Moicano versus Saint Denis, minus 265 and plus 215. I kind of like those odds if you're going to be going with Moicano and you're looking for a dog. Saint Denis, though, he's a relentless fighter, really strong grappling base who can also, he can hold his own in the striking, man. He's got a 100% finish rate. He's got a lot of power behind those hands as well, which is kind of dangerous for Moicano, who has been proven, he's been proven to shown to be vulnerable. That doesn't make sense. He's been shown to be vulnerable, especially against big hitters, and, I would put Benoit kind of in that category, especially for the lightweight division. Saint Denis, man, his strengths here are obviously the pressure and the pace, and he's really good at chaining his wrestling into his submissions. He's got the hometown advantage, man, which I think is going to be pretty big for this. He's coming off of that loss. I mean, he was on a really good win streak before the loss to Poirier. I think he's looking for a good bounce back. I think the UFC is looking to give him a good bounce back. Both these guys fought around the same time, too. They're relatively active fighters, which is a good thing. I want to be biased in this fight, man, and give it to Moicano because I do see a world where Moicano wins. I think 3 or 4 out of 10 times I think Moicano takes this, which is for MMA, I think pretty fair odds. But you know what, dude? And I'm a fan of Moicano too. Saint Denis is a pretty badass fighter. I like watching him, and he has a really cool backstory. But Moicano, man, I feel like I'm an actual Moicano fan. Good on the mic. Fun, exciting fighter. I think Moicano's strengths stem from his elite ground game, obviously, but he can hold his own on the feet as well, man. I mean, that Jalen Turner fight, man, Jesus, he did get knocked in the first, but a lot of people forget, TKO in the second round, and I get it was Turner's fault of his own, but that TKO is a TKO. Moicano's been proven to go out there and he can get some finishes, man. His Muay Thai obviously is excellent, and we're going to be able to see that. And obviously, I think the experience gap could be on display here. I think we saw a bit of the lack of experience in the Poirier fight for Saint Denis, and I think Moicano has a lot more experience in the cage and in the UFC. Saint Denis is kind of the rising prospect in the lightweight division, and we kind of need some prospects at lightweight. I feel like you see in welterweight and middleweight and bantamweight, like a lot of these surging fighters right now, and lightweight is kind of reliant on the really big names that have been around for a long time. Look at Moicano, been around for a really long time, but just kind of now starting to really take off. But I think the experience difference might show here. I see a lot of worlds where Moicano can take this, but I'm pretty solid with my pick. I'm going to go with Saint Denis here. But again, the striking defense in his game, he can leave himself open to counter shots, and especially when he's aggressive, and that could prove to be kind of dangerous against a guy like Moicano, but who knows? I think this one's going to a finish no matter who wins. Up next, Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen. Minus 245 for Imavov, the hometown favorite, and plus 200 for Allen. My pick is Brendan Allen here, so I like those odds. I'm probably going to be cashing in on that one. Plus 200. I think it's a bit ridiculous here. We have a classic striker versus grappler dynamic matchup, and I'm glad that this fight's actually happening because I know Allen kind of had some dodging allegations, so I'm glad he finally took this one. He didn't want to be the co-main. He was only going to fight if he was the main, but I like this as it is. Imavov's biggest strengths here are obviously going to be his fight IQ, his excellent cardio and pace, and he's got really crisp, calculated striking, which I like for him in this fight, where you have Brendan, who, has improving striking, and he can kind of hold his own, but obviously he's a really grappling-heavy fighter, and he's going to be, both these guys are just going to be trying to implement their game. And I think whoever is able to implement their style, will, and game style, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I think I just said style. Whoever can kind of dominate their will the most, I feel like is going to be the winner of this fight. Whether Imavov can keep it on the feet as much as possible. Not that he can't hold his own on the ground, but he's going to try and keep it as much on the feet as possible. Try and carry this decision, maybe get a KO. He is coming off the TKO of Cannonier, but I feel like most people thought that was a really early stoppage, me included. And I had money on Cannonier in that one, so I was pretty upset about that one. No disrespect to Imavov, but I don't know. We're going to see if Brendan Allen is obviously going to try and take him down as much as possible and hold him down as much as possible. That's obviously, I feel like Brendan's greatest strength is being able to kind of hold people down there. I mean, I know the Chris Curtis fight was pretty close and a lot of people were shitting on Allen, but pretty impressive performance against Paul Craig, which I think kind of says a lot. Even though, he kind of is passing the torch, I feel like that's Craig's role right now is gatekeeper for the division, but that's besides me. Allen has a clear edge in the wrestling, obviously, and he has a lot more experience. I think he has twice as many fights as Imavov does. Allen's going to want to put the pressure on him as much as possible. Imavov, on the contrary, very diverse in the feet, wide range of attacks in his arsenal, obviously. He does suffer from poor wrestling defense at times and doesn't always have the biggest, power on his side, but who fucking knows, man? I'm going to go with Allen on this one, like I said. Up next, William Gomis versus Joe Anderson Brito. Dude, this is a super fun fight. Fight of the night potential. We have plus 215 for Gomis, the hometown advantage. Well, I wouldn't really call it an advantage in this one. And Joe Anderson Brito at a minus 265. My pick is going to be Brito here. One of the most underrated, kind of unknown featherweights right now. I mean, I wouldn't really call him unknown as much as I would call him underrated. Dude, he's like in a 5-fight win streak right now. He's a really aggressive, pressure-based fighter, really good at closing the distance efficiently and really mixing up the striking with his takedowns. I think he has 8 TKOs and he's got 7 subs, I believe. So really, really well-rounded fighter. He's good at kind of showing both sides to his game. However, he's kind of been proven to have cardio issues, and this fight is 3 rounds, which I like for him. I mean, most all of his fights have been, but you know what I'm saying. He has cardio issues kind of in the later rounds at times, and he is prone to being open to counters. Defense isn't always the best, kind of takes unnecessary damage at times, which you don't really want to do with someone as dynamic on the feet as Gomis. But I just see Brito taking this one. He has the momentum on this side right now. I get the Gomis has the hometown advantage, but I don't think the French are going to win them all tonight or this weekend. Strong finish rate, really consistent activity, piling up a lot of wins. Again, it just makes me confused that more people aren't talking about this guy. But that's besides me. Brito has the power and the grappling on his side, but enough of me kind of just talking about Brito. Gomis, really well-rounded fighter. Pretty striking heavy approach, but can definitely hold his own in the grappling exchanges. I do think Brito has the edge there. But Gomis will probably be able to hold his own for the most part. And again, he's going to try and keep this on the feet as much as possible. But Brito can fucking strike, man. So both of these guys can strike really fucking well. Gomis, man, he's fast, agile, definitely has the cardio advantage. Going to be interesting to see how the third round goes. He also has really excellent range. Really good arsenal of kicks in his game. He's got to just be able to he's got to be able to defend the takedowns. Sorry for the word bot. Gomis' ability to defend Brito's takedowns here is crucial, I feel like. If Gomis can keep this fight on the feet, I don't see him finishing Brito, but he can possibly outpoint him. Again, plus 215 dog, pretty sizable. Brito, on the other hand, he needs to have good cardio for this one. Otherwise, I could see Gomis kind of taking him away on the points or on the feet in the second and third round, but these guys got to implement their will upon each other. It's a really fun fight. I'm going to be going with Brito, though. Up next, Kevin Jousset versus Brian Battle. We have plus 35 for Jousset and minus 160 for Battle. This is a really good fight, man. Jousset obviously has the hometown advantage, like I said. 2-0 in the UFC right now, but hasn't fought since December of 23. So this is going to be Jousset's first fight of 2024, presumably only fight of 2024 if I had to guess. Brian Battle is the more active fighter. He fought this March or April against Lusa. He was winning that fight pretty well, but it, ended in no contest. Neither here nor there. I don't want to dwell too much on that. Focusing on Jousset, dude, I'm so fucking bad at the names, but that's besides me. He's a really good prospect right now. Really solid grappling, has a nice judo background, pretty methodical technical fighter, who's good at really maintaining his composure, keeping the distance well, good at positional control as well, man. So I like that in this fight for him. However, he can suffer in the striking department at times, and tends to fight at a lot slower of a pace, like I said, a lot more methodical and technical of a fighter. And then you have Brian Battle, who is just fucking gonna throw, man. He's a really exciting, well-rounded fighter, obviously. Former tough winner. And his striking skills are just evolving, man. We've seen a lot of improvements lately. And obviously, again, he can hold his own on the ground. Really solid grappling for Battle. He was 2-0 last year in 2023, which I like for him. Battle just has the higher output, which I like for him in this fight. You kind of have a faster guy puts on more output and pressure versus a guy who, again, is more technical, kind of going to cruise a bit more, wait for the right shots. But Battle has the striking prowess and the ability to push the pace, which I think, again, gives him a slight advantage in this fight. I like these odds. I think they're pretty fair. My pick is going to be Brian Battle. I don't think I said that already, but my pick is going to be Battle. I like these odds in this fight. Probably going to be putting money on Battle for this one, so yeah, it should be really fun. Last, but definitely not least, Ziam versus Matt Frevola. Okay, so the odds in this one are a pick'em fight. I'm going to be going with Ziam. As much as I think that Frevola, his strengths in this fight are going to be the pressure and the pace. Obviously, he's a fighter that goes the fuck forward. And he's shown to have good durability, and obviously he has good wrestling. But Ziam, dude, just really technical, rangy fighter. Versus, again, a fighter who's going to be relentless pressure. That's the kind of matchup we have. Very technical versus very kind of relentless. Ziam, again, good at keeping the range, solid footwork and distance control, and again, has been showing improvement in the grappling. Although the takedown defense is not great, which worries me, especially against a guy like Frevola, who is shown to have solid wrestling. But I don't think it's going to be too much of a downfall for him in this fight. If he can keep this on the feet and not get chinned, I think he's going to take it. It's a pick'em fight, which is scary. Definitely not putting money on this one. I wouldn't say I'm super confident in this pick, but going with Ziam. Frevola's last 5 fights have all ended in KO, TKO, so this should be exciting regardless. He won 3 of those fights, with the 2 losses being to Terrence McKinney, Benoit Saint Denis, who, no shame in losing to those guys, kind of the ones that are floating around the top 15. McKinney kind of around that 15 and 20, 25 range, and obviously Benoit really rising, surging, powerful prospect right now, so no shame in really losing to those guys. So it should be a fun fight. Again, my pick is going to be Ziam. It's a classic distance versus pressure matchup. And that should be it, guys. That's going to be it for my picks. Covered the main card right there. Not going to be touching on any of the prelims today. All the Smoke MMA. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Let me know your picks in the comments below or on my Insta. Dude, this is a really fun card, especially for a fight night. Paris is such a fun crowd. I'm really excited for this one. Thank you guys so very much for watching All the Smoke MMA. I appreciate you guys.